Red Bull has officially weaponized the 2026 regulations by unveiling a zero-pod sidepod configuration on the RB22 that looks eerily similar to the failed Mercedes design from 2 seasons ago. While the paddock expected a safe evolution of their dominant platform, Red Bull arrived at the Circuit de Barcelona Catalunya today with ultra-slim, vertical inlets that have virtually eliminated the sidepod surface area, a move that has rival engineers scrambling to understand how they are successfully cooling the new 2026 spec Ford Red Bull power unit. The technical audacity on display is the biggest talking point of the day, and it has sent a psychological tremor through the pit lane. Unlike the Mercedes W13, which suffered from chronic bouncing and unpredictable airflow, the RB22's zero-pod layout is paired with an incredibly aggressive, deep undercut that creates a massive air tunnel toward the rear of the car. Red Bull has managed to expose a massive section of the floor, allowing the clean air to flow directly to the beam wing and diffuser with almost zero obstruction. Max Verstappen spent the majority of day one putting this radical cooling package to the test in the Spanish sun, and the results were nothing short of ominous for the rest of the grid. Despite the tiny air intakes that look like they belong on a jet fighter rather than a car, the RB22 showed no signs of thermal distress or overheating, even when running in the wake of other cars during dirty air simulations. Paddock insiders are speculating that Red Bull has utilized a proprietary heat exchange technology developed in secret with Ford, allowing them to shrink the radiators to a fraction of the size used by Ferrari or Mercedes. This suggests that while everyone else was worried about keeping their new hybrid engines cool, Red Bull was finding ways to make the radiators disappear entirely for aerodynamic gain. However, it hasn't been a totally flawless debut for the new zero-pod design, and some observers noted a slight twitchiness in the RB22's rear end during high-speed directional changes at turn 9. This suggests that while the setup offers immense theoretical top speed and aero efficiency, the window for aerodynamic balance might be incredibly narrow. If the car falls out of that perfect setup window due to a change in wind direction or track temperature, it could become a handful for the drivers, a ghost that haunted Mercedes for 2 full seasons before they finally abandoned the concept. As the sun sets on day 1 Barcelona, the Red Bull garage is the undisputed center of the world. Mechanics were seen shrouding the midsection of the car with carbon fiber screens the moment it returned to the pits, desperate to hide the floor edge details and the internal ducting that make this slimmed-down aero work. Red Bull isn't just trying to win the 2026 title, they are trying to humiliate their rivals by proving they can master the very physics that broke the Mercedes dynasty. The preparation in the Red Bull camp for tomorrow's session is already reaching a fever pitch. We've seen engineers poring over data tablets and comparing the RB22's yoke temperatures to their pre-test simulations. They are reportedly planning a series of flow-viz paint runs tomorrow morning to visualize exactly how the air is moving around those vertical inlets. If the data confirms what we saw on the stopwatch today, the rest of the teams might be looking at a very long and very difficult 2026 season. What's your take on the RB22's radical new look? Is Adrian Newey a genius for resurrecting the zero-pod and making it a winner? Or has Red Bull finally overstepped the mark and built a car that's too sensitive for anyone but Max Verstappen to drive? If the Bulls are already this fast and reliable on day 1 with such a risky design, is the championship over before it even starts? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I want to know if you think this is a masterstroke or a mistake. Hit that subscribe button for our deep dive analysis of the Red Bull floor later tonight, and I'll see you at the track for day 2.